Yeah, I think our churches need to do 4 things on abortion. Number 1, they need to preach a biblical view of human value. In other words, human beings have intrinsic dignity in virtue of the kind of thing they are. They don't have attributed dignity based on their accomplishments or age. They need to preach that biblical view. Secondly, they need to preach that abortion is a sin, that it intentionally takes the life of an image bearer. And we see this taught. Exodus 23 teaches it in the Old Covenant. We see it in Matthew 5 in the New. These are clear scriptural principles. Number 3, and this is huge, we have got to equip our people how to make a case for the pro-life view in the public square. I teach at Summit Ministries, which is a Christian worldview conference every summer. I'm getting ready to head there soon. I love it. I'm the old guy, I'm 62, and I go out there and I teach these kids pro-life apologetics. You know what I hear? I hear overwhelmingly from these students, we have never heard a pro-life apologetics presentation. Now, these kids are coming from the best churches in America. I mean, large churches with pastors I know who faithfully preach the word. But when we survey the kids, which we've been doing now for 5 years, less than 2.5% of the kids have ever heard a pro-life presentation about how to make a case for life with friends who don't go to church. And we wonder why we're losing. Our problem isn't that we're not whole life enough. Our problem is nobody's hearing a pro-life presentation. They don't know what abortion is. They don't know the arguments. And when they hear it, the light bulb goes off. The light bulbs. Our team, we speak in Catholic high schools all the time, large Catholic high schools filled with secular kids. And over again, they're like, we've never heard this. It blows their minds. So our churches need to do that. 4th thing, and this is crucial. We have got to minister to the precious men and women who've been wounded by abortion, who have ruled themselves out of any God-glorifying ministry because they got a ghost of a dead child in their background. And we need to come along and say, we want you to know that the Christian gospel speaks to your situation, that Jesus came and bore in full the judgment of God you deserved, so that you could be adopted into his family as a dearly loved child. And if you believe in Jesus, even if you've had an abortion, God the Father is no longer your judge. He's your heavenly Father, and you get adopted into his family. But you know what our churches are doing? Because they want to spare women and men who've been involved with abortion guilt, they want to spare them the guilt trip. They don't say anything about it. They're not sparing those men and women guilt. They're sparing them healing, because unconfessed sin is keeping them out of full fellowship with Christ. So I think those 4 things are what we need to be focused on, and helping people come to terms with what a pro-life church should look like.
It actually deepens my commitment to what you said about organizations and ministries being mission-minded and having a specific goal and sticking to that. That's really important. And what's missing is that we are all called to do something, right? And so we, before God, should be sure that we're responding to his call. I did not choose to become pro-life or anti-abortion. If I were picking issues, I know my personality and I would pick some other issues, but I just believe that God just put that fire in me and he called me to this issue. And I think he calls a lot of us. He calls us all to something. And so maybe what the church really needs to do is to support one another in fulfilling those God-given callings so that we can work beside one another. We can't all do everything, but we can certainly all help one another fulfill the purpose that God has called us to.